Over the recent years, 2008's Call of Duty World at War has rightfully gained a lot of attention for its dark, violent, and no-holds-barred representation of the Second World War. This game's unique and disturbing atmosphere truly sets it apart from the rest of the Call of Duty catalog. Some people even describe this as a horror game. I won't be doing a deep dive of the game as a whole, rather I wanted to talk about, in my opinion, the best mission in the game and my personal favorite COD mission of all time. Today, we are taking a look at Vendetta.
The rotten cancer of the fascist Reich ravages Europe like a plague. Their relentless drive into our motherland steals the lives of men, women, and children alike. The arrogance of their leaders is matched only by the brutality of their soldiers. These are the darkest days of the Nazi occupation of Stalingrad.
Being the first level taking place in the Eastern Front, you can immediately feel the tone shift. Where the levels taking place in the Pacific are violent and graphic and have their moments, I think you could tell in the first few minutes here that the Eastern Front is a totally different ballgame. The mission opens up to our character, Dmitri, hiding amongst the dead in a destroyed water fountain. A German patrol is making its way through and finishing off any survivors they can find. This is a great moment to open up with, as it's tense and really shows how the Germans are the ones in control here, and we are simply trying to survive. Now, before I go on any further, I want to comment on how this mission, like a bunch of other COD missions, was inspired by popular war movies. Vendetta, in particular, taking inspiration from the 2001 film Enemy at the Gates. Enemy at the Gates is also set during the Battle of Stalingrad and follows a Russian soldier who is an expert marksman. In that movie, there's a scene in a water fountain where the main character is sniping Germans, waiting for the bombers to drop their bombs to take his shots to mask the sound of the sniper rifle. Now, there are tons of similarities between the movie and this mission. I won't be talking about all of them, but seriously, this intro to Vendetta is basically that scene verbatim, aside from minor differences. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get back to the mission. After the Nazi patrol finally passes by, we gain control of Dmitri. Crawling through the dead in the fountain, we see a body start to move. It's Viktor Reznov. For those that don't know, Reznov was actually introduced in World at War, but wouldn't become the fan favorite character we know today until Black Ops 1. Meeting up with Reznov, we finally get to the fun stuff. Once we are positioned on the wall of the fountain, Reznov hands us a rifle. He says his hand hurts or is injured, so he can't shoot himself. Therefore, you need to take control here. At the same time, a German car pulls up and out hops the man we'll be hunting for the remainder of the mission and whom Reznov says he's been hunting for days. General Amsel. One of the reasons this mission is so great is how it builds up the character of Amsel. Throughout the entire mission from beginning to end, Reznov tells you about Amsel, how long he's been hunting him, what kind of man he is, his habits, and what he's done to the city of Stalingrad. This constant build-up makes you just as obsessed with finding and eliminating Amsel as Reznov, and it makes the finale of the level so much more satisfying. Once Amsel leaves the area, we are given ammo for our sniper and are instructed to take out the remaining soldiers hanging about. However, it's not that simple. If we were to start shooting, our first shot would alert anyone who isn't deaf to our position, and we'd be swarmed in seconds. Instead, Reznov instructs us to only shoot when the German bombers in the sky are directly overhead, so the loud roar of their engine drowns out the crack of gunfire. You can take them out normally, but if you want to challenge yourself, you can go for the professional achievement. This entails that you dispatch all the German soldiers without reloading your weapon. This requires you to get creative and line up your shots so you can kill pairs of Nazis with one bullet. Anyways, I would always try to get this achievement, but kid me wasn't quite skilled enough, so it wouldn't be until future 2014 me I would finally get it. It's a fun challenge, and I try to do it once or twice every time I replay the level, and I highly suggest that if you play the level, give it a shot. Once all the enemies are dealt with, we finally leave the fountain, and what follows is probably one of my favorite parts of the level. Following Reznov down the street, we take shelter in an old blown-out bar. Reznov begins to reminisce about how this place used to be full of life, but the Germans have stripped that all away. He goes on about how things will change, and soon, the war will reach the doorstep of Germany.
This place once echoed with conversations of friends and lovers. No longer. Mark my words, comrade. One day things will change. We will take the fight to their land, to their people, to their blood.
Reznov's monologuing mixed with the music in the background swelling up when he mentions how this place used to be filled with laughter and loved ones always hits me. It's such a great moment and one you wouldn't think to find in a Call of Duty campaign. Another reason why this game is so good. What shortly follows this great section is easily my favorite and the best part of this level, the sniper fight. As we make our way down a disheveled street, Reznov's head is nearly picked off by a German sniper. Without hesitation, we jump into the nearest building to take cover. After a short discussion on strategy, we make our way upstairs, and what ensues is an intense game of cat and mouse. The sniper's shooting at us from the top floor of the building across the river. To take him out, you need to locate which window he is standing near and try to pick him off when he turns to shoot. However, sometimes you lose track of him and have to guess which window he's in, but if you shoot and miss, your position will be given away and you have to move spots. If you don't, he'll zero in on you, and if you pop out again, he'll shoot your ass down. Reznov can help you in this fight by using a mannequin as a decoy to draw the sniper's fire in hopes you can shoot him while he's distracted. But this strategy works both ways. At one point, you can see a helmet bobbing up and down in the window. Shooting at it reveals it was also a decoy and you've been had. Getting creative with how you position yourself is the key to success here. This whole sequence is incredibly fun, and it's what I look forward to most when replaying Vendetta.
Good hunting! The patrols will surely have heard those shots. We need to get moving.
Shortly following the sniper fight, we're walking through this building that it gets attacked by Germans. Crawling into the hot blaze of flamethrowers, dodging bullets, and hastily trying to escape the burning building, eventually we jump out of a window and crash down onto the cold hard street below. As we come to, we see a group of Germans round the corner, seemingly to finish us off. But before then, a group of our boys show up and save the day. One of the soldiers appears to know Dmitri, and they say how they thought he was dead. What follows is a pretty cold quote by Reznov.
Dmitri, we thought you were among the dead in the massacre at the square.
He was among them, but not one of them.
We're about to assault the...
Now this part of the mission is your more traditional COD gameplay. Lots of enemies to kill, moving from room to room. We start out by observing the German garrison below to set up an ambush. Reznov tells us to target the flamethrowers as one shot will ignite the canister and engulf anyone who are unlucky enough to stand near and flame. With this info, we start the ambush by blowing up the flamers pack, and all hell breaks loose. While supporting our boys below with sniper fire from the comfort of our high ground, eventually the Nazis start swarming our position and we need to fight our way through the upper levels. Finally, we made our way to the end of the level, and at last we have our shot at General Amsel. Creeping up to the blown out wall, we find ourselves in a suitable sniper's nest with a perfect overlook of the street below. You can see that there's an intense firefight between the Germans and our Russian buddies. However, Reznov urges that we don't help our men as to not give away our position. We've come too far to ruin this opportunity, and for Reznov, this hunt for General Amsel has turned to an obsession. If our boys in the street have to die so we can get a shot at the commander, then so be it. Eventually, the chaos in the street forces the rat Amsel to flee his command post with the protection of his own personal bodyguards. In this section, General Amsel will run from cover to cover all while his team of snipers take shots at you. It's best to take out these snipers one by one as he makes his way down the street. Sometimes it can be hard to determine who's shooting at you because there's lots of enemies down there and it can get chaotic. Between the snipers shooting at you causing you to lose focus, all while Reznov is yelling at you that Amsel is getting away, it can get tough, especially in harder difficulties. If you're not quick, these snipers will tear you apart before you even have a chance to shoot. Eventually, you take your shot and kill the Nazi general, but before you and Reznov have time to soak in the glory, your position is revealed, and you and Reznov are hit by an explosion. Escaping through the building, which is now being swarmed by Germans from all sides, you make your escape. Jumping into the river below, the mission comes to an end. This level's great blend of sneaking around and sniping enemies with its classic COD gameplay, with explosions and action set pieces and all that, is really what makes this mission special. I feel that if you were to put a top 10 list of, like, definitive top 10 lists, I mean, I guess you can't really get definitive because it's very subjective, but I think Vendetta would comfortably sit in that top 10 just because of everything I talked about. If you haven't played World at War, I highly suggest that you do. It's on Steam, it's on Xbox Back and Pat. Definitely go and play it if you can, and definitely play until you play at this level. If you don't beat the game, but play until you play this level so you know what I'm talking about. This level's truly special. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.